It's Roll for Crit here at PAX Unplugged 2019. Right now I'm next to Tony Galati of Czech Games Edition, and we are about to look at an upcoming game of yours that I've been very excited for since it was announced, called Sanctum. So I'm very excited to get a look at it, maybe see a little bit of how it works, how it plays. What's the general overview of this game for everybody?
Okay, yeah, so what we're doing here is I'm going to do a brief overview, explanation. We're actually going to jump in and play a couple rounds.
Perfect.
On this. So just so everybody knows, this is what the game looks like. Sanctum is coming out in February. So we are pre-released at Essen, as well as we've been shown off at BGGCon, and now here at PAX Unplugged, and people have been having a really good time with it. So basically, we are all heroes. We're not heroes that are necessarily working together, but we are heroes, and we all want the glory of defeating the Demon Lord that has emerged in the city of Sanctum.
As one does.
Yes. So, what we're doing is we are traveling across the lands, progressing. During this time, we're defeating the minions of the Demon Lord to gain their loot, level up, and ultimately, hopefully, get strong enough to defeat the Demon Lord when we confront him.
Okay.
So, the game is heavily inspired by ARPG hack and slash type video games. It is designed by Philip Naduke, who did Adrenaline for us.
Love that.
If you look at Adrenaline is his first-person shooter simulation.
Right.
So you're using resource management as well as territory control in a first-person shooter-esque tabletop board game. Mm-hmm. This is his look at a hack and slash ARPG. So what it is you are primarily going to be looking at your character board. And the driving factor is the leveling, the skills that you're doing, as well as the equipment that you ultimately will be getting and equipping to allow you to do more things.
It looks like there's a lot of room for a lot of cool equipment to go on your character.
You have a number of different slots. One of them is your special slot, but other than that, you have 2 weapons, the helmet, the armor, boots, and an accessory slot. So, okay, so we're going to actually dive right into the actual game. Everyone will have a little handy-dandy cheat sheet that I'll be placing in front of us, but it not only has the round explanation, but also has a detailed explanation of every single special ability that your character has. Okay. Because all of the abilities are asymmetrical, or all of the characters are asymmetrical. Mm. So you are playing as the Slayer, who has more stamina-based, that is the red tokens, abilities. I am the Huntress, which is a more well-rounded, but also utilizing quite a few green abilities to my benefit. All of the ability trees have different functions that help your character, but they also tend to have slightly different weights on different ones. So, for example, you will get more stamina than focus. I will be trying to do some more dice manipulation by equipping some certain things. It's a little bit harder for me initially to get blue, whereas you're more well-rounded in that aspect as well. So when we dive into it, you'll get a little bit better grasp of that.
Okay. How many characters will come in the game?
There are 4 total. The 2 that we don't have out here are the Outlaw, who is a potion master, and the Dancer, which uses her own body as a natural weapon with her martial arts. Cool. So.
I do that too sometimes. Something I do. Okay. How's it work?
So the first thing we're going to do is I'm foregoing some different little setup things, certain different things that make different characters based on round order and stuff like that, just for this demo purpose. But what we can do on our turn is one of 3 actions. We can move, we can fight, or we can rest. So I'll take the action as the first player, and the first round you're forced to move off of the ship onto the board. So I am moving off of our ship, landing in the port into Sanctum. Now what you do after you advance is you reveal demons or spawn them onto the board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reveal demons based on the flag that is underneath on the board. So it says to reveal 5 sets of 2 level 1 demons. So we'd shuffle the deck, and then I would spawn those demons. So 1 set of 2, 4, and 5.
A lot of demons.
Yeah, so as we are embarking on our adventure, there are a bunch of demons plaguing the countryside. So after you reveal demons, you must now take demons. This is actually a big, one of the more meaty decision-making things in the game, because there are a lot of considerations to it. The first consideration is the color of the demon. So you have 3 different core colors. You have red, blue, and green. So what's going to happen is I'm either going to gain experience by defeating red demons that move me along my red abilities track, blue demons which move experience along the blue ability track, or green demons which give you experience among the green. So the type of demon corresponds directly to the type of abilities that you'll be leveling up.
Now, are these abilities set? Is there any like randomness in how that goes? Or?
There is not. They are set for the character, and also you will never unlock all of your abilities.
Okay, you've got to make choices.
So you have to make choices throughout the game of what you're actually, how your build is going to end up.
Very tough for me.
Yeah. And how your build is actually determined also by the equipment that you end up getting at your disposal. So, and that's the other consideration to make. So right now we are bereft with a bunch of weapons. So when you look at it, it's the top left icon. This is an accessory and boots, armor and helm, armor and weapon, weapon and weapon, and weapon and boots. So the only armor are here and here, but the only helm is here, and the only accessory is here. So depending on which slots we want to fill, it would depend on also which demons we take, because that's the type of loot that they drop. Another consideration is what I don't want you to have. That's not going to necessarily come into play right off the bat, because we
don't know what we're doing yet.
But later as the game progresses, there might only be one weapon. It might be blue. It might be on a level 3 creature, and I might be sitting there going, I don't need blue at all, but you are definitely gunning for blue this turn, so I might just take it so you don't get it.
Yeah, sounds pretty classic.
Yeah, so there are certain things, certain considerations in the game where you go, I really don't want you to have that, I'm just going to take it.
So how does the choosing work? We go in order?
No, so actually it goes right into this thing. So I'm moving, so I'm advancing, revealing demons, now I take the demons I want.
Okay.
So I'm going to actually take these two, the 2 weapons. They will go here on my board. And then there is not a treasure chest in the space that I am at.
Okay.
So my turn is over. So you will move next, because you must move off the board. And when you move, you're always going to move to the front of the pack.
Okay.
So you will move there. The first thing you do, spawn demons.
I assume you can never share a space with another?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So how many am I spawning out? I'm now at the...
So you have
number 2.
2 level 1 demons.
All right, got it.
Yep. And you can tell the level of the demon by the number of horns on their head on the symbol.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
So this is a level 2 demon, and it's only 1 level 2 demon.
Weapon seems good. And I know you, so I'll go for that. And yes.
And you will also take that.
Oh, they come in pairs.
Yep, they come in the group.
Okay, got it. And I just put them over there for now?
Yep.
All right.
Okay. So that was the first round. We have now successfully survived the first round of Sanctum. I thank you for this demo.
That was great. Game of the show. That's all I needed.
So now we will move on. Now, it is recommended that you do not fight right now.
Okay, I'm going to fight. No.
There are a few reasons why. Because one, statistically speaking, you have 2 dice with 2 demons, and you're not really going to benefit entirely from just having these statistical odds of rolling. It's more beneficial to bring more demons onto your board, so you have a wider variety of things to fight and stuff like that. Also, you have built-in defenses that will exceed the first attacks from demons. So and we can explain that, but it's generally encouraged to move again, to bring in more and progress the game quicker. I am not.
Okay.
I am going to fight so that we can jump right in and see how a fight works.
Get some action going.
So the first thing you do before the roll is you'd use potions if you wanted to. We'll get into potions later, but okay. So I rolled a 4 and a 6. Now I needed to roll a 4 and a 5 to hit these demons. So I did hit one outright. which was pretty lucky. But the 6 does not have 5. However, this game is not just about chucking dice and hoping that you hit the things. You have a number of resources at your disposal to use to modify different dice. So at this point, this was a great roll because I only have to use 1 blue token to do a -1 modifier. These are plus or -1.
Okay.
This is a plus or -2. So I just have to change -1 to change this 6 to a 5, and now I've hit both of the demons using only the 1 resource.
Perfect.
So not bad. Another thing to note is if this were like a 3.
Sounds good.
No,
Maybe?
a 2.
A 2, okay.
Had I rolled a 2, I could use this to add 1 to make it a 3, and then 2 to make it the 5.
Okay.
So you can use multiple of resources on the same die or different die sets.
Now, are those covered up and you can't use them again till later, or just during this fight?
Yes. Okay. So they are covered, and they are used until you rest.
Got it.
So basically, I'm using that 1 resource. I do that. Now let's move along. So I have now rolled. I've attacked. I didn't need to block because I hit both. Had I not, they'd be attacking me with the red dot of damage. So I would take 1 damage from this guy if he went through. However, I can use stamina to put it over 1 shield to block 1. Or if they both went through, I could use 2 stamina in this case on this double red marker to block 2.
Okay.
Or purple is either color, so I could do 1, 2, for example.
Got some options.
Yeah, so you have a number of different options. So I won't need to defend though, because I hit them both. So what that does is it gives me 2 experience points. That's the number of green gems in the top corner. So what that means is I can move 2 gems in the green column up.
Okay.
Now, what that means is this. So I could move these 2 gems off of this card, and when a card or a tile have no gems on it, it unlocks that ability.
Got it.
And then it becomes an ability that slots into your character and that you can use and gives you more options and powers. Or I could move these gems up, or I can move these gems up and unlock more resources. So I have a number of different options here. What I'm actually going to do is move this gem up and this gem up. I'll explain why here in a moment.
Okay.
But the reason... So now, after leveling that, I don't actually unlock any of these abilities, but now the demons drop their loot. So now I know that I have these 2 items that I will later equip when I choose to rest that I can equip. Now, to explain how equipment works, you're actually going to use these gems to slot them into here when you equip them onto your person.
Okay.
So if you don't have gems, you can't equip equipment.
You need experience.
So
first.
you need to experience and move the gems into your pool up here.
And you also don't know necessarily what that loot is going to be. You know, it's a weapon of some kind.
But you don't know what kind of weapon. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was went through. I gained items and 11s. That's the last thing I do is check achievements. Now achievements here are this is a race. So this is a way that we are actually competing directly against each other. First person to unlock 3 abilities by flipping them over, all the gems are off.
Okay.
First person to get 2 different colors of gems. So 2 red and 2 green, or 2 red and 2 blue, or any of the combinations. No whites. Whites are wilds. They do not count in this achievement. And the last one is a number of levels of equipment that is equipped. And now it's your turn.
All right. So you told me not to attack, but should I?
No, actually, you should move, because I'll see why in a minute.
Okay, good. We'll figure that out. All right. So do I always move up just 1? How does it work?
In front of the pack leader. So you would actually be the pack leader, so you're moving here.
Oh, yeah. Got it. So if we were playing with 4 people, I might move
You move all the way.
all the way up. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So now I'm here. I spawn more demons.
Yep.
2 of them. Level 1.
Yep.
All right.
Also, an important thing to note, we would actually not be using this board in a two-player game. Because
got
it
it.
says no two-player.
So
you'll see a number of little icons like this that say don't use this with a this player game.
does the game end when you reach the end of the board or something? Or
No, actually, every board is double-sided. So you have different things that you encounter in your journeys across the land. You will continue to progress until you hit the cathedral, and then after the cathedral, you will encounter the Demon Lord.
Whoa!
It has its own board as well.
Awesome.
So yes, you are progressing epically across the land. You are gaining all sorts of awesome magical items, and then you will ultimately probably be killed by the Demon Lord.
Got it. Okay.
Kind of the.
That's what I've always dreamed of. It's what I aspire to.
Okay, so you moved, you did that, you gained your demons. You're not on treasure chest, so that's the end. The reason why is because this. I don't have an advantageous thing to do.
I see. So there's no rush for me.
Like, the thing is this. So I'm going to move.
I know you're not going to fight.
But I can't fight, and resting right now would be a complete waste because I only have one resource gem used. It would allow me to equip, but then I'm going to spend my next 2 turns essentially not fighting and gaining things. So the biggest thing about this game is, and this is why it's kind of urged, that in the beginning you want to amass some demons so that you can fight and get a couple fights in, is because we're trying to min-max our characters.
Sure.
I just ran to the wolves, killed a couple of them, then decided to run all the way back to town to level up my skills before running back out there while you're just grinding away.
Right. It's about prepping the calm before the storm.
Yeah. This would be a good time for the fight.
All right.
Because you're only going to kill 2 of them.
And I got to get started eventually, or especially early on, I assume. Maybe you want to go a little smaller because you want something to...
Correct, yeah.
to start off with.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't have no potions. I will roll the 2 dice.
Yep.
We got 2 6s.
Okay.
Well, I only have 1. That's okay.
Okay.
Now, I can manipulate that.
Correct.
Make it a 5.
You could.
Pretty easily. Maybe I could also make it a 3.
You could.
Which maybe is better because it's red, and red is cool with me. But
if you change it to make it a 5, you only use one of your resources.
Right.
And then next turn you can attack again, and hopefully roll to hit.
They'll still hang out, the ones that I didn't do anything to. Okay. All right, so we'll try that. Turn this into a 5.
It is pushing your luck and risking more. But
got it. It's okay.
Because now the thing is this: you do have to defend against the 2 demons. So you are going to be using 2 of your resources, the stamina, to block the 2. So if you wanted to use the other focus, you could, and then rest next time if you wanted to do that instead.
We'll go ahead. We'll just stick with this.
Okay.
We'll try to see what happens.
So you defend against both those. You take no damage. Now you level up.
All right. So I get to choose. I get 2 experience still, 1 green, 1 red.
Yes.
All right. So let's see. And I can move them up from any.
From any.
Okay. Well. Now if I did this,
you'd gain a red.
I could do that. I see.
And now that goes straight into your stamina pool.
Cool.
This flips over, showing that that's now a unlocked ability for your skills.
Okay, so the unlocked could be an ability, could just be more stamina, more resources. Interesting. And then my other one was green. Red, sorry. I'll just go ahead and move that one out.
Okay.
Ready for that.
So now you show what your loot is. So those 2 flip over.
It was this one?
Yep.
All right, we got Woodsman's armor.
And the other one.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yep.
And Soldier's plate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have 2 different equipment
all right.
that you're looking at. Okay. And I'm not fighting.
Snake eyes.
Snake eyes. So
you do have a 1.
Yes, I do have a 1, which is helpful. Now, I also have a 3, but it's on this demon here. So, I'm going to be hit for 3 damage, which was not what I wanted to have happen. Because I can only block against 2. So I am going to take a damage. Now notice, you only have 10 life in this game.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So there's no way to heal.
Wow, brutal.
The life is also your victory points. So the person at the end of the game who defeats the Demon Lord and has the most life remaining is the victor.
Okay.
Assuming one of us can defeat the Demon Lord.
So victory points plus you get points for those achievements over there?
No, these achievements only help you. They're blessings that help you in the battle against the Demon Lord.
So the max you can get in this game is 10, which would be really hard to get.
So I just lost a tenth of my total points that I could ever have in this game.
You really want to, it's like, this is good. I'm glad I have the stamina here. All right, so should I find out maybe how equipping works and resting? And seems like a good idea.
You actually look like you should rest. You have quite a bit of resources done. So
gone through that.
Okay, so the first thing you do is you restore. So all of your used resources come back into the pool.
Very nice.
And then you can equip. So the first time you equip, you get this right here, and you get another die. So you're now rolling 3 dice against enemies.
Fantastic.
Okay, so now you have these 4 gems at your disposal. And you have these 3 equipment. You can equip them all.
So that even though 2 of these are armor.
Oh, yeah, you can't equip them all. No, no. So basically, which armor do you like better?
I know I specialize in the red, but this is actually, what are these number of shields?
So this right here means this. So when you're defending, you'll use two gems, exactly the same as the current one.
Okay.
However, this one defends 3 instead of 2. This one, however, defends 2, but additionally, it allows you to
any color on that
either
one.
color to defend another one.
Got it.
I believe this one's better.
Okay, versatility.
Because it's more versatile, yep.
Got it.
So that will actually cover up, right where you put it, and you have to slot this gem in that spot to equip it.
Okay.
And then now you can equip both of the gladius.
Yeah. So, I mean, what would I want to do with this?
You would want to sell it for a potion.
Okay.
And that's actually the next part of the rest stage, which is buy potions. So any equipment that you know you're not going to use in the game, you might as well scrap and get a potion. And you can get a potion that's either blue or red.
Okay.
Now what that does is it allows you between battles, before you fight, to use one of your potions to get back a resource. It's like a minor rest action where you're just getting one thing of the color that you chose.
Okay.
Yeah, so you gain 3 red experience.
Awesome. So these 2 come up and then...
So that would be 1, 2, and then you can
1, 2, and 1.
Yes.
Okay.
And then that would reveal your bloodlust.
All right.
So
this lets me... If any of my foes have hit markers, I activate my rage.
Okay, so rage is something we didn't really talk about.
Yeah,
but
let's talk about that.
It's something that you actually do quite a bit. If you ever want to, you can't use a die. And this is why we haven't talked about it, because it hasn't come up. If you can't use a die, you can use your rage marker, flip it over, and set it to anything you want.
Okay. I get really angry about those dice. It's like real life.
Yes, you get really angry, you go, no, I'm going to flip my rage, and then I get that die, whatever I want, and then you can place it. Now, yours says there, if you ever... What about hit marker?
Hit markers. If any of my foes...
You activate it. So basically what happens is this. So you use your rage and it's deactivated. Your foe has a hit marker. Boom. It's automatically back.
Perfect.
So your character actually, as you build it, you build more, you're going to find you have 2 rage markers. You're the only one that does that. So you basically will be the guy that continuously can just rage as the berserker slayer he is and continue getting his and refreshing his tokens.
So everyone has the rage ability, but mine treats it differently.
Yes, yep.
Cool.
And like mine, I have sharpshooter and things like that that allow me to modify dice in my fashion.
So I can definitely see how they do branch out quite a bit. Feel pretty different to play as.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do actually next is I'd move. I'd spawn the next board.
Right.
This board would be removed. We'd shuffle it down. And basically we continue through multiple boards in the same fashion until we ultimately reach the Demon Lord, have a final big battle against him. And the Demon Lord battle is actually more of a test of how well did we do.
Okay.
How well did you set up your character? because the Demon Lord is going to bring out cards that have a long scale attack that you rest beforehand, and then you go the entire time continuing to roll and slot without ever resting again. So by the end of the first round of the Demon Lord, you'll have a battle where now he hits you for 5 or 8. Can you defend against an attack for 8 damage?
So is there a danger of, if I took from my opponents too much, maybe they can't help as much in the final battle, it would actually hurt me too?
Well, see, the final battle, you are fighting against your instance of the Demon Lord while I fight against my instance.
Okay,
so we're not actually competing directly against one foe. We're actually competing against the Demon Lord's attack on us.
So I don't have to worry about, I don't care about how anyone else does.
You don't care at all how we do. So, yeah.
I'm a hero.
Yeah, you're a hero.
I get it.
You're the hero, the one surviving hero that's left from this ultimate battle, and you are taking the glory of said battle. Too.
Yeah, exactly.
You slayed the Demon Lord.
Right, hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. I really like the kind of combination of, like, it's very simple dice matching, but of course you have a lot of ways you can mitigate the rolls and the way the equipment works.
And really the equipment, the choices with the equipment and building your character is the meat and
just like a video game like this.
Exactly, yeah.
It's all about that loot.
Yeah, it's all about the loot. It's the enemies don't really matter. You're just more loot, more stuff. What can I get? Me, and then you think you're awesome, and you're like, I got all these shiny level 3 equipment, these awesome bows, flaming swords, and everything else, and then the Demon Lord kind of crushes you a little bit, and it puts you back in your place. So. Yeah.
So this is for 2 to 4 players, right?
2 to 4 players, yes.
And it's coming out in February.
Coming out in
release?
February, yep.
Awesome.
$60 SRP, and yeah, so we're planning it to do the full retail, available through all distribution. So
very exciting. I can't wait to see what genre of video game he tackles next.
Yeah. We're really excited with what Philip Naduke has been doing. So like this is really in the wheelhouse of things that we hope to expand on. So
yeah, really liked Adrenaline. From what I played so far, this is awesome. Looking forward to playing more. It's called Sanctum again. Check it out. Wait for it in February. Thank you so much for joining us today on the show. Walking us through it. Yeah.
Thanks.
Hey, go ahead, like and subscribe, and support our Patreon for even more board game content.
Support us now to hear the audio expansion, where you can hear all the other nerdy things we've been up to.